So, Dio, good morning. If you allow me, I will try to continue in English. I think most of you know sufficient English, or you can use a translation as well. Is this so?
Sad to na sredini, pa da mi je bliže. Človek ne mora ganjati mikrofon več.
This is going to work. My name is Peter van Houten. I'm indeed a former member of the Belgian Parliament. Before that, I started also working as a journalist a long time ago in the 80s. In my country at that time, you couldn't learn the job. You simply went to a newspaper if you had good writing skills, and you could start, or you could work for the radio, and you could start learning the job, learning by doing. Nowadays, like in your country, we have a special degree, a master's degree at the university before you become a journalist, but I still believe it's only by doing it that you can become and improve your skills. That's the only way forward, and Antonio will confirm that later on. When I left Parliament in 2003, I started working in Serbia, Kosovo, here a little bit, Macedonia recently on negotiations, but also a lot in Asian countries, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Nepal. In these countries, mainly on conflict resolution. This has something to do with communication as well, but basically the resolution of conflicts that just are close to be finished or were just over. What I'm going to do today, first of all, and I know it's difficult for you, it's the last day of the week. In my country we call this always the graveyard session. Last day of the week, you still have to wake up, so it's difficult for you, I understand, no problem. What I'm going to do today, I will walk first more or less an hour with you through a little bit the basics of Parliament. That you get an idea on what is this, a Parliament, how does a Parliament function, what can you get out from a Parliament. The second, after the coffee break, we will prepare you for this famous exercise. It's not really going to be a press conference, but more we will focus on presentations. But we will explain you later. It will be lots of fun. I am sure you will enjoy this as well. The afternoon, Tony will take over and he will present also a little bit from a practical point of view how you deal with parliamentary reporting. So to start with, I would like, the basic question is, of course, what is this a parliament? Anyone, any idea what this is a parliament? That's a good technical definition, of course, of what a parliament is. I will now focus on a different approach, based more on how do you communicate to people, how do you explain to people what a parliament is about. I will show you how we did it in my former parliament, in the Belgian parliament. They produced a kind of video that all visitors to Parliament get to see. Yeah? So, if I can find it at least. I'm sorry, the sound is again gone.
J'habite à Château.
Ik woon hier, naast mijn bedrijf.
Wij wonen het liefst hier.
Je suis né comme ci et je mourrai comme ci.
Dan ben ik mijn mensen. Ja.
Number 1, Nasipai. It's a strong symbol, an address that calls many images to mind. This is the house of the entire nation, all its citizens. That's why it's rightly called the National Palace. It's located in the Wetstraat, where Europe also has its headquarters. In 1830, the Provisional Government and the National Congress took up residence here. They opted for a parliamentary democracy. It was a reaction to the old regime in which a small group of aristocrats held all the power. The ordinary citizen had almost no rights. There was no question of participation.
So that was just by way of introduction. What is interesting is what you see is that from the very beginning, it's not just about presenting the parliament. You start with the people. It's the people's parliament. So the people own the building. Yeah? So the girl is saying, I live here. And she points to the parliament, telling you that this is our parliament. We all own our parliament. That's very important. That's the basics of parliamentary democracy. It's not something that belongs to the government or to the members of parliament. Parliament belongs to the people. That's issue number one. I would like you, as a second step, I would like you to show you a political, what I call a good example or a bad example of what we call political dialogue. Yeah? And then we continue with the rest of the presentation.
Hello, I was sent here today and only found out about it 5 minutes before having to be here. I did not get to eat breakfast yet. I was not given any real direction on what we are supposed to go over, so I came up with this. Okay kids, what you need is an exit plan. Let me draw a diagram.
Oh, pick me. I have a question. Pick me.
Yes, little girl, do you have a question?
I forgot what it was. Sorry.
That's okay. Now, where was I? Oh yes, the front side of your house once was called side 1. We now call it side alpha.
Oh, Mr. Firefighter, I have a question. Pick me.
Yes, little girl, what is your question?
This one time, I was with my daddy, and he was cooking in the yard, and I saw a fire in the grill.
And what is your question?
I don't remember.
Pay attention to what I'm teaching. If you are in the middle of your house, you are in quadrant E.
Oh, I need to ask you something.
Yes, little girl, what is your question?
Can I spray the hose or climb in the truck?
We can have fun later. First, we need to go over friction loss math formulas.
Boo-hoo. Oh wait, I have a question. Pick me.
Listen, save all your questions for the end, because I'm praying we get a call and have to leave, and your lack of serious questions is getting me worked up. Oh, thank God, it's a call. Goodbye, kids.
So, that's a typical example of what I would call a political dialogue. Basically, politicians, they always tend to know it better. They pretend that in general they can educate the people because they know it better, they know everything about everything. Sometimes if you have a good MP or a good politician, they will also try to get some feedback from the people. They will ask you, please do you have a question, like the fireman was doing. But usually they miss the essence. The essence is you have to learn the kids to educate them to get out of the house or to act whatever they have to do when there is a fire. But as the fireman pretends he knows everything about it, he's going to make it extremely complicated. That's also what politicians often do. And trying to convince this girl that she should listen to him. That's politics. That's the basis of politics.